I've trained athletes to run 10.2 and 10.3 in the 100 meter, and I'm going to be breaking down the Olympic final 100 meter. No Lyles won it, and I'm going to be breaking down just some basic fundamentals of everyone's starts and overall races, so you can see what you can take and improve on your technique for your speed. This is gonna be a one taker, so we're just gonna get straight into just the fundamentals of everyone's stance before they race a set. So this is the start position, and you're gonna notice that every single person, I wish I could draw lines, but look at my mouse, every single person will have shoulders above hands. All right. A lot of people, and this can get really weird, is they'll be in the set position or in the start position, and they'll either be leaning back or they'll be leaning over the line. So their shoulders are way too far forward. That puts all the pressure onto your hands and it's going to make you step out. So all the pressure is going to be on that front foot right here, or this front pad, whatever your front leg is. So that top leg is going to make you step out, not get that push off the back leg, which is huge for having a very good start. So hands above, shoulders above hands. Then we want also a neutral neck. So I think this, in my opinion, is probably the best, or right here where the neck is almost dropping down. You're tucking your eyes down to your pelvis area. Some people will do neutral. So instead of letting it drop, they're actually going to hold it a little bit, kind of like what No Lyles does, which is also perfectly fine. But at the end of the day, you just want to relax neck. You're not looking forward. You're not looking overly into any direction. So then we're going to look at the set position. Let's give it a quick little, there we go. Boom. All right, set position. Everyone has some pretty good, interesting things. One thing I've always said, especially recently, is hips above head, right? So hips, just think your glutes, right? Your hips above head. This, if you look at the glutish area, right, you're going to see above head, above head. You're always going to be able to draw a straight line from the top of the glute all the way down to the head is going to be a straight line. This is the only person where it's like kind of even, but that's the lowest you want to go. Most people, this is going to be a generalization, of course, it's going to do better with hips directly very high above head, but not too high. Most people are in a pretty much a good spot. And then once again, now we want shoulders slightly above hands in the set position, right? So before we want it directly on the hands, now we want slightly in front of the hands, small lean forward, and then you can get a little bit better push off that back leg, because if you lean back when you go in the set position, no one's doing it here because they're Olympic athletes, but if you're leaning back in the set position, you're actually going to end up pushing off that front leg even more, and you're not really going to get the most off your block start. So we're actually going to go just step by step, only the first three steps, and I'll break down just general top end speed mechanics. I wish I could slow this down even more, but it's not going to let me, so I'm going to have to freeze frame this. They're not going to let me do it. All right, I might have to just catch it. There we go. First step, every single person in the Olympic finals, and this is why I wanted to break down Olympic finals, because everyone's going to be like, oh, genetics, and these people are just freak athletes. None of us can be like them, but they all have the same fundamentals. I didn't tell these people to do anything, right? But look at it. Everyone lands under center of mass on first step. I've been teaching this for years. The hundreds of athletes I've helped get faster, first step under their center of mass. Center of mass is pretty much, think of your pelvis, right? So you see this kind of figure four position. We want that in the start, and everyone shoots their shoulders forward. No one is completely standing up besides kind of No Lyles. No Lyles had a rough start this Olympic final, so it's a little bit messed up, but he still is faster than anyone in the world. He ran amazing, right? It's not even a question. Still landing under center of mass, shoulders forward. Look at No Lyles with the big arm swing, so the arm is far back and far forward, and the head is still neutral, so it's not popping up or popping down in that start position. And then basically we could watch this at a little bit of a faster speed. Watch the low heel recovery. So this heel is going to drive forward, but it's not going to drag. It's only going to do that for about 3 to 5 steps for most people. If you watch No Lyles, that first step is super close to that second step is super close to the ground, and then he drives the foot forward, and is not his foot cycling through the glute, right? It's going forward through the knee, and then eventually he'll start cycling through the glute, and now you hit the figure four position, which is the most powerful position in sprinting that No Lyles hits perfectly, which is that figure four, and then we just get going. So now we'll talk about transition, right? So we talked about the first like 3 to 5 steps, low heel recover, projecting your body forward, and now we're in this transition phase. So after around 10 to 20 meters, we're starting to transition and turn up that turnover speed or stride frequency, right? So the main thing you're going to see is everyone's going to be attacking down, and this is a little bit of a myth that people are going to say you're going to land under your center of mass while you're upright. It's kind of impossible. Like you're not going to load your body in front of your center of mass, but initial touchdown, so right when the foot hits the ground, is going to be slightly in front of center of mass here. If it's casting out, right, you're casting your leg out, you're going to get hamstring issues and you're not going to be fast. But if you're landing slightly, just slightly in front of your center of mass or directly under, kind of like this athlete right here, then you will be able to propel your body forward by doing advantage stated angles, right? So if you're casting and your foot lands in front of your center of mass too much, you're promoting deceleration forces, but you land on your center of mass or you load on your center of mass. So once the foot hits the ground, a good example is this, right? This person's going to touch the ground slightly in front of their center of mass, but by the time they actually hit under center of mass, they'll be in the propulsion phase. So they'll be producing force under, right? So they're not loading the ankle in front of their center of mass, which would, promote braking forces. So either way, you're attacking the foot down hard, hitting the hammer hard like what Noah Lyles does here, and you're still driving that arm back to get that opposite glute to contract at max capacity, right? And then what Noah Lyles does perfectly here is he just stays patient, right? I don't know if he messed up his start, but just look how patient he is, right? So obviously he's not in first in this box start race, right? In the 5-yard race, but this is a 100-meter race, right? So he just stays patient, he keeps pushing, and then once he gets into the upright phase, it's just basic bread and butter mechanics. Pelvis is neutral, right? So he's tucking his glute in. He keeps his heart forward. So a lot of people think you need to run tall and then people start leaning backwards. Look at all these people, all the Olympic athletes. I've been saying this. You don't actually run that tall when you're running upright sprinting. You actually have a slight lean forward. So what I like to say is push your heart forward, push your chest forward, and you'll see the position that Noah Lyles hits. Everyone else is also hitting the same position. He's the only person who's like completely vertical with his torso, but most people are going to have that small lean. Look at my mouse, that small lean in the torso, which is going to allow them to hit better positions for their upright sprinting, right? Then he's just getting good turnover, landing under center of mass a little bit more since they have more momentum now, and bouncing off the ankle, right? And then right here, we're going to get into this final stance. The last 20 to 30 meters is usually going to be who can decelerate the least, right? And Noah Lyles is obviously the best in the world. There's not even a question in the world who's the best at decelerating the least or top end speed. That's going to be Noah Lyles. So he maintains posture. He doesn't tense up the shoulders, keeps his neutral pelvis. He doesn't start overextending. A lot of people, when they're losing a 100-meter race, they'll subconsciously, so you're not doing this consciously, but you start trying harder, which makes you overextend at the pelvis, which means you're going to over contract your glute and then start weaving with your lower back. Noah Lyles doesn't do that. You see his lower back stays in the same exact position in that top end speed, even though he's behind. He doesn't start overextending with the lower glute or with the overall glute and then the lower back. He just stays in that same position and keeps attacking down into the ground over and over and over again, even when he's fatigued at the very end, and he leans forward and gets the win. This is an amazing 100-meter dash. Everyone ran perfectly. You couldn't ask for anything more. Congratulations to Noah Lyles. Noah Lyles, you watched my last video about you, and you commented. So if you see this video, can I please do an interview with you? Like, everyone comment, yes, we want to interview from Noah Lyles. I will just ask you questions about why you're so amazing. It's just going to be hyping you up the whole time. Please do an interview with me. Amazing job, Noah Lyles. Congratulations. And thank you for winning America an amazing gold medal in the 100-meter, which hasn't happened in years. You are the GOAT. Literally the GOAT. Not even a question.